Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany and in today's video, we're gonna be doing something a little bit different. We are going to be doing a little bit of a furniture makeover. Recently, I acquired the most beautiful end table from Facebook Marketplace. I have this awkward little piece of wall between my dining room and my family room, and I've always wanted a nice little table there. I tried to have a little greenhouse there. It was too small. I needed something bigger to fill the space, and I have just been watching Facebook Marketplace. That is tip number one for shopping on Facebook Marketplace, is just to look all of the time. You can actually set keywords on there so that it alerts you when somebody posts something that, that you're looking for. I always have desks, dressers, tables, nightstands, buffets, sideboards. I always have those types of things on there so that way whenever somebody posts those, I get notified and I can look. And so I was able to find this side table. It is beautiful. I paid only $50 for it. I had to drive kind of far to go get it, but that was okay. I don't mind a good drive. I put in a good podcast, no big deal. But it is a little bit darker than what I'm looking for, and it is very polished. It's a gorgeous piece. I could leave it just as it is and it would look absolutely stunning. That wouldn't be a problem. It just doesn't fit the feel of my home, and it's making the other pieces that I have just feel kind of out of place. And so today I am going to be tackling renovating this, and I'm going to do it in a way that I have not yet done. Now, usually stripping furniture is so involved. It involves using some kind of stripper. You leave it on for, you know, as long as you can, typically overnight. This is what we did for the vanity that we have in our master bathroom. That is the dresser that we stripped. We used the citrus strip. We left it on overnight. Then we, you know, used the after wash. We sanded the heck out of that thing forever, and it was just so involved, and I still never really got rid of the red. And so I'm gonna try the easy off today. I have watched a lot of videos. I follow a lot of other creators who have a similar style to me in their home, who used this technique and it looked beautiful on their furniture. So I am very, very hopeful that I can get a very similar, if not identical, result. This is supposed to involve no to very little sanding. I think what I read was that sometimes you have to sand at the very end with like a very fine sandpaper, so that way it just kind of makes the wood smooth again. Because it's not going to be used really except for decor, I'm not planning on sealing it. I'm just planning on making it look distressed and raw and trying to bring it back to like its raw initial, you know, state. So we're gonna see how this goes. I did just pop over to Walmart to get the things that I needed. So one thing that you're gonna need is some type of scraping tool. So I picked up this multi-tool at Walmart. It was really affordable. It was less than $10. And I figured it's something I could use, you know, in the future. If you're looking for this, it's over where they keep like the putty. And then in that same area, I also picked up some heavy duty throwaway gloves for the chemicals. I also picked up a fine sandpaper block. So that way, if I need to at the end to just kind of smooth everything out, I'll have that. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I am following the instructions that I got off of a blog post. I'll have it linked for you down below. Never tried this before. Of course, I'm trying it on this piece of furniture that I really love. Probably isn't the wisest idea, but we're gonna go for it. Let's get started. Today we're going to be working outside on this project since we are using Easy Off. So I'm getting started by using my painting drop cloth, putting it out here on my driveway, and I'm also going to use the screwdriver to quickly take off the hardware. I did end up keeping it and reusing it. Felt like it was perfectly fine. This is the Easy Off I'm using today. It is the heavy duty Easy Off, and it's just because that's what I had. I will say that I definitely don't think I had enough. I do think I needed another bottle, and I did mean to grab it when I was at Walmart earlier in the day, but I forgot. So is life. But I'm just giving the entire piece of furniture here a quick spray with the Easy Off. I should have been wearing the gloves, but I didn't think about it, and my finger did get a little bit burnt. I'm not gonna lie, a little chemical burn. However, it was okay. I was all right, but definitely should have been wearing gloves. I am trying really hard to keep my coats even. It was hard to turn my bottle as I was spraying. I definitely didn't think I was getting as even of a spray when I was working on the legs, and you'll see how that turns out later. I also, like I said, think that I was kind of running low on the Easy Off. So just gonna go ahead and spray everything down. I will also just mention that I didn't wash this piece of furniture. I did dust it off, but I didn't wash it with soap or anything. That is something you can do if your piece is really dirty or you found it outside. This piece was super clean and really polished, so I didn't think it needed a good wash down, but just a quick little wipe down did just fine. And like I said, we're going to go ahead and give this a good coating, and then we're going to let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. That is all that it takes. And you can leave it on longer if you feel like it's necessary, but 10 to 15 minutes is what the blog post recommends. So that's what I did, and then you'll see what we do next. This was probably the most satisfying scrape I've ever done in my life, and that is my first scrape across the top. And I was so impressed with the fact that everything was just coming right off. It was incredible. As I mentioned in the earlier clip, I did some stripping to the dresser in our bathroom that we now use as our vanity, and we used Citrus Strip for that and let it sit for overnight, and it still didn't come off this easily. So I was really impressed with how easily this was taking all of the varnish off and a good amount of the stain. So I'm just going to use this multi-purpose tool here to scrape as much as I can on the flat edges, and then we're going to work on the curved edges a little bit differently because that is not as easy. I did just grab a grocery bag here, and that's what I'm putting the varnish in as it's coming off. I didn't want it to collect on my drop cloth or on my driveway either. So just gonna gently scrape this off. I'm trying really hard not to dig into the furniture and just kind of skim the top, and it was just coming off so easily and so satisfyingly. The blog post that I was following mentioned using a soft bristle brush to work in all of the other areas that you couldn't use the flat multi-purpose tool. So that's what I'm doing here. I've got this cleaning brush that I picked up on Amazon that I use to scrub around like my sink faucets and those types of things. And as you can see here, with just a little bit of water and a bunch of elbow grease, everything was just coming right off. It was incredible. So I was scrubbing it off, making sure to get all of the stain off, then going in with my black polishing towels from Amazon to wipe everything down. And I was so impressed with how easily everything was coming off. I will say that the wood on the top piece was definitely a little bit different than the wood here in this middle piece. And that's okay. You know, that's kind of how these projects go. As you can see here in this last section, I was literally just wiping it off. The Easy Off had been sitting there for a while and I was trying to work quickly to get it off because I didn't know if it was going to make things look different if I left it on there too long. So I'm just kind of taking warm water with a little bit of dish soap and just scrubbing, and it's just coming right off. This was so fabulous, so much easier than sanding this entire thing, and I was really impressed. You'll see a little foot in the background there. That's Michaela's foot. She was keeping me company, and we both were just sitting here in awe as everything was coming off. So I'm going to use my little brush tool there, as well as this polishing towel to work on the legs and the rest of the furniture piece to get everything off, all of the stain, all of the varnish. As you can see here, it's just kind of peeling off. So we're going to work to get this all the way off, and then we're going to let it dry. One thing I will mention that I didn't film was hosing the table off. So when I was all done getting it wiped down, I did take it over to the back side of my house, and I hosed it off with just some regular water, and then I put it in my garage to let it dry overnight. And then I was amazed to see it the next day. I cannot wait for you to see it. Wasn't raining when I came out here a second ago. Good thing I got the table in just in time. Let me see if I can turn this so you can get a better view. Okay, so here is the current status of the table. Hopefully you can hear me over the rain. I like this top section for the most part. It's a little bit red, but this section here is very yellow. And then that section there is red. So, oh, getting wet. Holy cow. This just came out of nowhere. This has been on and off all day. There's all the sand for our pool that we got delivered yesterday. Ugh. Oh well. Danny just went to pick up Aiden from the gym, coming back with his friend. But okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a minute to just kind of sand this down a little bit. It is so steamy on my camera, I'm sorry. That's how humid it is right now, but I'm gonna try to sand it down a little bit, and then we're gonna bring it into the space and see what we think. So to get started with sanding, I did put on that glove again just because my nails were fresh and I didn't want to ruin them. I had just gotten them done. So I'm using the 80 grit sandpaper, and I just folded it, and I'm very lightly just sanding the top here just to even the color out and smooth it out. As you can see, there's definitely different layers of color, and at first I didn't think this was going to work out, but I have to tell you, I've had this piece in my house now for about a week, and I love it. I love that the colors are different. I love that it doesn't all match perfectly. I feel like that's what makes it look just worn in and loved and antique. I really, really like it. I will say that here on this drawer, I did do a little too much sanding on a little bit of like the bottom of the drawer, and that was a big mistake. I do it like right here, you're about to see, and I can't take that back, but that's okay. It's just a little bit, and I'm glad that I didn't go any further. So gonna just take my time here sanding just very, very lightly, and then we're gonna go back in with that finishing sanding block just to make sure it's nice and smooth. I did not decide to do any kind of sealant on this piece of furniture. I'm really not using it. I don't even have anything in the drawer. It's just there for a piece of decor, so doesn't get touched, it doesn't get used a lot, so I felt like it was okay not to seal it and just leave it nice and raw. And now we're going to bring it here into the space, and like I mentioned, I really do think that I love it. I wasn't quite sure here, but now that I've had it here and it's lived there for a while, I really do love this piece. Okay, my friends, here it is. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I don't hate it. This top section is kind of what I was hoping the rest of it was going to look like. Although this middle section looks closest to my floors, and this bottom section is darker. Now I could spend 5 years sanding it down, but I'm not going to do that because I don't have the time for that right now. But I will say that, like, in the scheme of things, I like it better than it was. It looks darker on camera than it does in real life. And I have all my lights on right now in the house because it's really overcast today and pouring, as you just saw. So I'm gonna decorate it. I did over sand right here, so that is why that looks like that. It's kind of a bummer. There's nothing I can do about it, and of course it's right there in the front, but I'm just gonna tell myself that it adds to the charm. I'm gonna put the handle back on, and we're gonna call it a day for this. I may go back in with oven cleaner again on this bottom section. I don't have any more. But I do think I'll do it again. I'll need to buy some more, and maybe you'll see that in a future video. I'll update you for sure. But I definitely, if I step back, I don't hate it. You know, with everything else, I think it's really pretty. And I was worried last night because it was all kinds of different colors, which it still kind of is. And like I said, it's coming in darker on camera, but let's decorate it and see how it looks. Okay, so here it is. Like I said, I think I need to do a second coat on the legs, but I don't hate it. I actually kind of love it, and I kind of like that it looks a little bit imperfect. I don't know, we'll see what happens with it, but yeah, I think it looks really pretty. So on top, I just put this vase here. This is from Hobby Lobby, and then I think so are the faux hydrangeas. And then on the bottom there, I have another pot, like a little square one. I think that one's actually from Michael's last year. And inside of it is a Hoya that my neighbor gave me. So there she is. And I don't know, I kind of love her. What do you think? You guys are gonna have to tell me down below. And see, from afar, it looks darker than it does when you get up close. And you can see like the different tones, but stay tuned. We'll see if we do a second coat on those legs. Okay, my friends, that brings us to the end of another video. I hope that you enjoyed coming along with me as I flipped my first piece of furniture on camera. It's not my first flip, just my first flip on camera. I think it turned out really, really cute. The more that I look at it in here, the more I absolutely love it. So stay tuned to see if I do anything further with it. But thank you again for spending some time with me today. If you are not subscribed already, I would love to have you subscribe and come back for more. And until the next one, my friends, take care.